episode number 3. They let us back. That's very encouraging. Derek Sharp, Kaylee Cottrell, and BJ Daniels. And this is BullsEYE. Over the next hour, you're going to hear from us. And just in case you're not only tuning in to hear us, we'll also have the head football coach, Alex Golesh, Logan Berryhill, Sam Barrington with DeDe Lattimore, and yours truly with Buse Hazan from USF volleyball. Random topic, Alabama, the game. Pretty good one. Kaylee, we'll start with you as you're closest to me here, and you were close to the players and the action, and that must have been like nothing else.
That was unforgettable, truly. And even so beforehand, so last week I was with the tailgaters out in, the lot on one end, opposite end, this time with the students, and they were so fired up. It was so special to see. Beforehand, they were doing it up. I was with the beef studs, and they were getting all painted. There were about 20 of them that all stand in the front row, and they're so dedicated, and they were so pumped and
you
having a
got
great
to meet
time.
them a little bit more up close and personal. We're going to see a little bit of
Yeah,
that
have
later
a feature
on.
of that coming up,
Awesome.
and you'll get to see their tailgates. They have a mechanical bull out there. MK
wow.
came out and had a little ride on it.
Well, that's a sidetrack real quick. Mechanical bull. First of all, I have back issues, so I cannot.
Come on.
I will just aggravate it just walking the wrong way. So mechanical bull, what would be your excuse for not going on it? And then BJ Daniels, what would be your excuse? Obviously, probably because you're wearing a suit.
More than likely.
True. I had a skirt on.
So you
So I
can't
could do
it.
an outfit excuse too.
Okay.
Yeah.
You would
No,
never
mechanical
do-
bull wouldn't be my thing.
Not your thing?
No. I would like to think I'm too cool for that. May or may not be true. I don't know, but
Well, before we get your comments, Mr. Cool, on the game, what happened to your lip? I mean, we don't have elephants in the room
oh
here.
man. So all the attention. I was actually on my way out of the stadium, and
Oh, man. Those
the
fans
swinging
are the
door
worst.
came the opposite way.
No.
And then I got hit in the face. And then, unfortunately, I felt bad, but a young lady wanted to take a picture with me, and I was like, I can't do it. I'm sorry. This is the circumstances where I have to say no. But it was a complete accident, but, things happen.
It's not a theme of the show or anything like this, but wait till you guys hear the injury that Buse Hazan from volleyball suffered. Actually is kind of similar. Now, let's get to the football game from your point of view. I mean, you probably were over the moon with anticipation, and then, to me anyway, again, not the win,
Right.
but everything else was incredible.
Yeah, I was excited. South Florida usually on the football side of things has an opportunity to take care of what we call giants. So we were nicknamed the Giant Slayers. So because of what we've done in our history. But I really was excited for us to play Alabama. I thought our team played very well. I thought that there were some remnants of what everyone brings up about the history of USF football and being physical and playing with chips on our shoulders and just going out and giving our best. And I really felt like that's what we displayed on ABC Network. We didn't come out with the win, but hopefully we can continue to build on this, as we look at it with no moral victories. But we can build on what we did last Saturday.
And a lot of the credit rightfully going to the defense, very physical. But we got to talk about the hit by Naquan Wright.
Yeah.
And have you ever delivered anything close to that? How does it feel?
The game is physical. I mean, it truly is. So at the end of the day, I just hope that, we continue to just, Naquan, obviously, just continues to, kind of just be around and support and help and be a part of the team, no matter what happens and moving forward.
Yep. Now, one other thing that happened during the course of the game was the weather.
Yep.
And this person's on the field.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, we're watching in the booth. Oh, it's raining. Doesn't affect us. The players, and you played in Seattle, for goodness
Yes.
sake.
I'm used to the rain.
We'll get to this. How do you deal with that? But how did you deal with your first impending disaster situation?
Yeah, you know what? Luckily, my hair was up, so I wasn't worried about the hair. I was all good. My face started to get. I was like, okay, I can stick it out for a little bit, but my face started getting wet, and I'm like, okay, I kind of can't see at this point. So I sprinted just in time for the complete downpour because everyone else that came in behind me sopping wet, like pants, shoes, socks, just sopping, drenched. But when they came out, they looked kind of half dry already to me. So and I was standing next to one of our equipment guys, and I asked him, like, did they change? He's actually said a majority of them did not.
Wow.
But they did like cleats and gloves and that sort of thing, but a majority didn't. So props to them, it's dedicated.
Smart, thinking of your face before anything else, because I'm the same exact way. And secondly, I wish Joey Johnston, our sideline reporter, who does a great job, would have had the same approach because, I'm trying to find the right word. He came up to the booth, he had a certain aroma about him, but you know, it was one of those things. And now listen, playing through the rain, Alabama had the ball when that happened, and it looked like, you know, that cut their playbook not even in half, in 75%. So how difficult is it when it gets really bad?
I mean, it's absolutely a headache. You know, as a quarterback, you know, you really hate that opportunity because the ball doesn't feel the same.
Right.
You have to have extra care over it. You can't grip it loosely. The tighter you grip it, the ball will slip out of your hand. So there's a weird dynamic that goes into taking care of the football from a quarterback perspective, running back as well, and then from an offensive play caller, you have to kind of shelve some things. You know, you can't be as freely open, taking deep shots. You know, you don't want to necessarily throw the ball quickly. You want things to kind of happen in a slower pace because footing is important for linemen and for other positions as well. So it's not something fun to deal with. I dealt with it in Seattle. The only difference is the rain in Seattle wasn't as heavy as it was last Saturday. Seattle's more of a consistent mist. You know, so it's a little easier to deal with.
So, in other words, defense loves rain.
Yeah, defense loves rain, especially the big guys.
All right, one other topic that we never even mentioned on our broadcast, even when we're padding for an hour during the radio broadcast I'm talking about, and that is the Alabama folks fed their team an entire alligator before the game, and of course they got some flack for it because people thought it's not the Gators. But I understand it. I'll give them some slack because they probably associate the state of Florida with alligators. They're all over. All I care about is that we did our part to respond by eating elephant ears. And I just got to ask you, are you elephant ears people?
Nope.
Why not?
I'm out.
Why not?
No, I'm not big on the exotic foods. I don't know if an elephant is exotic or not.
No. An elephant ear is a pastry. You don't eat any sweets, do you?
See, no, I barely eat sweets.
If I showed you an elephant ear, you would actually think about eating it.
I absolutely probably would not think about it.
Man, oh man. I'm stunned.
See, I have a sweet tooth. I have a crazy sweet tooth, so I'm all about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, one other thing about elephant ears, they have to have them outside of just fairs. You know, like, why can't you just get it at the store? But I guess BJ doesn't care.
Sour Patch Kids.
Okay.
That's my thing.
All right.
I can
That's
get
my
behind
thing.
that too.
Good deal. All right. We'll talk back to football in just a couple of minutes. Also, later on, I want to talk to BJ Daniels about some other things that you guys are going to find interesting going back to his Seahawks days. But coming up next, the head coach of the Bulls here on BullsEYE.
I'm Kaylee Control, your Bulls insider, and today I'm hanging with a group of fans who take their support to the next level, the USF Beef Studs. Who are the USF Beef Studs?
The USF Beef Studs is a student club that paints up, gets a front row to the USF football games, and we share our hearts out and we root for our winning team.
What does a game day look like to you? Take me through it.
All right, so game day. We get here right when the parking lot opened, right here at Lot 1 Northwest, and we set up. We got 2 tents, a few tables. We set up, we're ready to go. And buses start rolling in an hour or two later. Everyone from the MSC comes over. All the tailgaters start coming. We got games, we got food, we got paint. We just keep painting nonstop until the gates open. We walk right in. We got front row. We're ready to go.
How important is it to you to keep this tradition going?
Oh, it's so important. As a fan, as a previous athlete even, just knowing you got fan support is the biggest thing to winning football games. I tell everyone. You start winning by having a good fan base, and if we can keep it loud and lively, we're gonna win. So it means everything to be a part of this and have it keep going.
What's your favorite part about supporting USF?
Favorite about supporting USF? Man, I love the colors, I love the atmosphere. These fans are dedicated, and it's just awesome to be out here in such an environment.
What are some of the traditions of the Beef Studs?
Some traditions can include every time we score points, we will lift people into the air for 7. We get 7, we'll go 7 lifts. We get the front row, we're just loud. We got chants. You know, we're all excited to be out here.
Well, talk me through the paint here. What's the strategy?
All right, so step 1, we have people check in. Second, we got these white stripes for the outline. And then right after that, we fill in the green. We get the gold. By then, the green would have dried. And we get the white emblem right here. Then we're ready to go.
USA! 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 USA!
We're minutes away from kickoff. Can you characterize the excitement for me? How are we feeling?
It's absolutely electric. I mean, seeing these 20-plus people painted up in the front row, getting ready for this game, is absolutely incredible. Give people your care. This is what it's all about, coming and supporting our team.
Oh my gosh, the students
And joined now by the head coach on BullsEYE, Derek Sharp with BJ Daniels and Alex Golesh. Coach, what a night, what a crowd at Raymond James Stadium. And I know, as you made the point beautifully and bountifully after the game, you weren't there just to put on a show and make it a close game, but talk about the environment as we get going here.
Yeah, I said it after the game, but that's what college football should be. That's what college football in Tampa should be. And it's our job to get us to a point where it is. But man, the students, that was really, really, really impressive. They, I think, in a lot of ways affected the game, and certainly our fans coming out. Like what an incredible deal, especially after the delay, and everybody just came right back, and it was a big party. I mean, it was incredible. I'm super grateful for our fans and especially our students for showing up, having a blast, and like I said after the game, we're going to get to a point where that's what it'll look like every week, as it should. But we've got to earn the right to do that.
Coach, I was really impressed with the defense. Historically, South Florida football has had a lot of great defensive players, defensive backs as well, that made it to the NFL. Kayvon Webster, Mike Jenkins, Anthony Henry. I saw DeDe Evans out there this past Saturday, and he reminded me a lot of those Bulls that a lot of people reminisce about and love. Can you tell me about and talk about his play?
Yeah, DeDe is a guy that has earned the right for it to be that. Like that's where I'm so proud of Daquan, where I feel like I've seen Daquan grow up from afar. Remember him coming out of high school, and he's a young guy that has a million reasons why he shouldn't be successful, and he just keeps pushing through. And that Saturday night was a culmination of what his process has been since we came back in January. He's here early, he's here late. Yeah. He's committed to his craft. And he just continues to fight and swing. The challenge to him now is to lead others. And I think when you're truly confident in what you do and your process is 100% right, you earn the right to be confident to bring others along with you. And that was my challenge to him Sunday, was, all right, man, you've validated your work. Now bring others with you. But really impressed by what he was able to do, but really impressed by the entirety of that defense and what Coach Orlando has done in terms of putting people in the right spots to be successful, fitting a defense around guys' strong suits. And it certainly showed with DeDe. And we've talked since we got here about letting guys do what they're good at doing. And DeDe has a knack for the ball. He certainly has a knack for blitzing, and he affected the game in a great way.
Sure did.
He also got introduced into the Tough Ass Dude Club, which I think needs to be a club. And I love that phrase, by the way. Now, I got to ask you, I'm going to ask, there probably should be a graphic for Derek's dumb question of the week. And your answer can always be, that's a dumb question, that's fine. But rain delay. Do you have a change of clothes as far as all the players go?
Yeah, so rain delay, we give our staff a lot of credit with Andrew Warsaw and Jeremy Lees and Connor, our dietitian, sitting down midweek and having a really, really good plan for one. You have no idea how long it's going to be, but you anticipate a 3:30 game in September in Florida that you might get a little bit of rain. And so having a plan there with new shoes, certainly a second set of uniform. And obviously gloves. Like you saw, as soon as it started coming down, visors came off all the helmets. Like those equipment guys, there was a plan. They set out to achieve it, and then we were ready. I think in terms of what we had food-wise, we were ready to do a sleepover if we wanted to in the locker room. But just to be able to refuel them, change clothes out, new cleats, all of it, and be able to feel fresh when you came out. And I thought those guys did a phenomenal job. They gave us a chance from that aspect to go be successful.
Great.
Coach, in 2012, I was able to be a part of something like that. USF played in South Bend against Notre Dame. What were some of the things? We had a rain delay, and we had to figure out how we were going to warm back up. What was that process like with the strength and conditioning staff as far as getting those guys ready, not too early, but just right on time, so they still had enough energy to come out and be successful? Yeah,
just the ability to come out and restart. We again had a plan. Gio and his staff, we sat down midweek and had a plan there as well to come out, and essentially you got 10 minutes and take them through essentially a pre-practice work-through or a warm-up, get their juices going a little bit, get the blood flowing, and let the skill guys run around, catch some balls, let the quarterbacks get re-warmed up. But I thought they had a really good plan. Again, something we talked about beforehand. I think ABC was going to try to throw a wrinkle in there, give us another 15 minutes on top of that. And I think both teams came together, said, man, we're getting it rolling at 5:30. The officials did a good job, and we got it rolling. I think if we would have had to sit there another 15 minutes outside, I think guys would have started to get a little bit anxious. But it was really smooth. And I thought we came out of that with a really, really high energy and kind of picked up where we left off, certainly defensively.
And that was no small thing, and well done as far as the preparation goes. You mentioned ABC. I heard 5 million eyes were on this game, or I guess it would be 10 million eyes were on this game. First of all, do you go back when it's a major broadcast like that? I know you watched the tape of the game. Do you actually watch the TV version of the game, or does that matter to you? And secondly, I think you got to be proud of the effort you guys put out against for all the nation to see in that case.
Yeah, so no, I don't know that I've ever gone back and watched the TV copy unless we were looking for something in terms of, man, are signals out there, what's out there. So we have young guys that certainly do that every week. I've never found the time to go back and watch a TV copy. I think two things I'm really proud of. One, what that stadium looked like on Saturday in terms of football in Tampa, a rocking environment. College football in terms of what it should be. You know, I think since I've been here, all I hear about is those great teams, right? Like when football is rocking at South Florida, there's an excitement level, and there's certainly a packed Ray J. So I was really, really proud of that. I was proud of our fans. I was proud of our students. I was proud of putting a product out there that deserved people buying tickets. The other part I was really proud of is the fact that our guys came out and swung. And we talked about swinging and going for people's throats and don't care who's in front of you. To be honest with you, it was the same challenge as it was the week before and the same challenge as it was the week before that. I think sitting back and looking at it and then being able to show our team no different than FAMU or Western Kentucky. And to be honest with you, I don't think it matters who you play, but effort gives you a chance in every game. Effort will always give you a chance in every game. Effort will give you a chance in life to go be successful. You still got to go execute. And a lot of that falls on us as coaches. A lot of that falls on the players to perfect their process to where they're ready to go execute. And certainly you're playing an opponent that across the board, the body types you're playing and the skill sets you're playing are really good. Our job is to create scheme and recruit players that are also really good. And so that's all got to come together. And effort has got to come together with the execution part. But I also think that from an effort standpoint, like your effort is your commitment to this program. Your effort is your commitment to your teammates, to your brothers that you're going to work with every day. So the effort doesn't ever surprise me because there's an expectation and a standard that, to be honest with you, from long ago has been set. Like you're going to wear the green and gold. You're going to play your ass off. Now, our job as coaches, put them in positions to be successful, elevate their level of play from a scheme standpoint, and continue to point out the positive and continue to point out the negative and just continue to be really real. But the effort didn't surprise me. I was proud of it. Now the next step for us is to execute at a high enough clip to go win that football game.
Coach, you talk about effort. I try to stay away from the quarterback conversations too much because I'm biased.
Okay, buddy.
I'm very biased. But, Byron Brown, I'm watching this young kid grow every week with toughness. He'll get hit in the chest and he'll get up. I know he's dealing with some other ailments and things like that he's still battling to continue to perform every week. What kind of message does that send either to you, your staff, or even the players as well?
Yeah, you know this. You go as your quarterback goes. You can be really high end everywhere else, and that guy not be the right guy, and it doesn't work.
Right.
He touches the ball every snap. Right. So the fact that he is who he is in terms of what his mental makeup is, what his toughness is, how he works, his approach to his work. it's really astounding for a young guy that's 18 years old who just got done with his 5th start. You've seen growth monumentally from game 1 to 2 to 3. And I think in himself having the confidence, and you saw it in a couple of runs where it's like, man, I could slide or I could give him a little something here. And he was fighting and clawing for every inch he was getting. Yeah. The next step for him is to continue to trust what he sees, to continue to trust in the offense, and continue to grow within the offense. Right. And that takes time. I don't care how old you are, that takes time. It takes everybody coming together and gelling, and the protection matching with the receivers, and his eyes trusting what he's seeing. I think that takes time and reps. And the advantage that Byram's had is he's, from day one, he lives in that office. He's there all day, every day. He was able to go through spring. Now, a lot of the guys in the spring that he's playing with weren't playing. So, and it's not an excuse. Our job as coaches is to get it right. But he is in the tough-ass dude club. Yep. And if your quarterback is one of the tougher dudes on the team, you got a shot. So I'm really proud that he's our quarterback, and I'm really, really excited to continue to see his growth.
I happen to know that he also really cares. I mean, he takes the results hard, and he wants to improve every single time. You took the interception on your own as far as the play call at that time, taking the shot. I admired that, but one thing you went back to is preparation meeting opportunity. Obviously, the opportunity to beat Bama was there. The preparation, something that you hinted at that you might look back and look at the schemes a little bit. Is that something you guys have been working on this week?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, there's nobody more critical of what we do offensively than me, and it starts with me setting the right tone, setting the right expectation, but at the same time finding ways between our entire staff, finding ways to be really successful. You're preparing yourself to call it with certain pictures, with certain looks, with certain guys in certain spots, and you're not going to be 100% right. And when you're not 100% right, you count on the players to get you out of it. Byram has found a way to cover for me, certainly at times. And I've got to continue, and our staff has got to continue to find ways to help him be successful. And so that particular play, again, there's a million of them over my career you wish you could have back. But at the same time, you call it, it happens, now we got to bounce back. The powerful thing is that our defense came right back, got the offense the ball back, and that's where I'm so proud of those guys, that they kept answering the bell. And not to make it a long story, but I didn't say this after the game, but I told our team that I think a really, really powerful moment in our program, and I actually got a little bit emotional in front of the guys talking about it, was after that interception. And I just stood there, and I was disappointed in myself, but I just stood there and watched our defense take the field, because I wanted to see what the heck was going to happen. Like, where are we as a program? And that entire defense came on the field right in front of me, and I was standing there waiting for Byram to tell him, that's on me, and go bounce back, man, like next play. That's all that matters. And when I tell you, every single one of those defensive guys that took that field dapped him up, or an offensive guy, and said, I got you. We're good, man. We're good. And I didn't really know, make the story public or not. I guess it doesn't really matter. But I told the guys on Monday morning, for us as a program, that was as monumental of a moment. It's not a win. We didn't win the game. That would have been more monumental probably in a lot of ways. But for us as a program to have our defense, and when I say every single guy that took that field, instead of saying, woe is me, man, we got to go back out here, man, like, we had it on the 40, what'd you do? There's an 18-year-old quarterback that's fighting his ass off. There's a group of guys on both sides of the ball that are fighting their asses off. And literally, we got you, like, watch this. So there's this confidence that they took the field with, and it's no surprise that they got it right back. But, like, if that's who we are as a program, if that's who we are as a team, and that's the foundation we're laying, the end results will come when they come. And I know what the expectation is. But if that's what we are as a team, and if that's what we are as a program, like, I told those guys, right after the game, and I told him Monday again, if that's the group that I'm going to war with every single week, let's line it up, man. And I'm with them, and I'm going to go anywhere in the country and play anybody in the country. Now, flip it. Awesome. We're there. Let's go execute.
Well, that's going to be this week against Rice. I was going to just give an anecdote of the fact that, now I can look down and say the defense is going to get the ball back, but to hear it actually take place on the field and those guys taking ownership, it's a commendation to you and your entire staff. Best of luck this week against Rice, and thanks for joining us, Coach Golesh.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Coming up next, one of the members of that defense, Logan Berryhill on BullsEYE.
The College Football Playoff Foundation outreach program, Extra Yard for Teachers, is committed to making a difference. This week, we are celebrating Extra Yard for Teachers and making an impact in our community. The USF Student Athlete Advisory Committee and representatives from the College of Education have selected not one, not two, but 3 schools in our community to receive gifts. I'm Kaylee Cottrell, your Bulls Insider, and today, we are surprising those educators.
Advisory Committee, and we understand that teachers aren't always appreciated the way that they should be, and so we wanted to grant you guys with a little bit of a token of our appreciation and your contribution and dedication to your students.
You all to take the time to recognize not just me but the other teachers in Hillsborough County is just truly remarkable. Like, I do what I do because I love my kids, but for someone to come out just a jersey, that makes me cry.
Every Friday she spends her own money to put on a display of learning that these kids get a one-time in a lifetime opportunity, but it changes every week. And I know she wouldn't say it too. She has a second job that she works at night to pay for those things. I help out when I can, but I know she spends her own money, so this is going to go to great use. And most importantly, it's teachers like Ms. Barone that keep administrators wanting, going above and beyond every day. She makes a learner out of myself, and it's an example that we try to spread across campus.
Continuing along on BullsEYE, Derek Sharp, Kaylee Cottrell, and our guest this week, Logan Berryhill, who is part of a fantastic defense that we all love watching so far this year. And let's just get right into the game last week. Logan, it was so exciting before we get into your play personally. What was it like being down there on the field, being part of what was going on?
It was exciting. Like, everybody would get the opportunity to go against Bama. Like, as a kid, you always see Bama, #1 team in the country or a powerhouse. So just to go out there and play against them is good. And then to dominate, like, we didn't dominate, but to play good, we didn't get what we wanted, but it was good to, like, be part of that.
You had dominating tendencies, that's for sure.
In a packed Ray J as well, what did that energy feel like?
I felt great. Like, that's probably the most fans I've been since I've been here. So just to hear the fans out there, when we're on defense, we pump the crowd up, they get loud. It was vice versa, but it was still nice to have, people in Ray J. So.
That was a big part of it, right? I mean, when you guys are playing, you're obviously concentrating on the field, but do you allow yourself to look up and look in the stands and look at that student section, which was amazing?
I usually don't look up while I'm on the field, but, like, when you first run out the tunnel, you see, you be like, wow, like, it's exciting. But usually I don't look at the fans, worry about the fans, but that first run out, you would look around like, okay, now it's time.
Take it all in.
A lot of people were making some big plays, and of course, a lot of people are talking about DeDe, which we will too. Was he one of those guys that, just being around him, you've been around him a lot during the course of the last few years, but did he react like a different person? He seemed like he was possessed.
Nah, DeDe did what DeDe do. Like,
nice.
That's really what it is. DeDe, that's the type of player DeDe is, so it wasn't a surprise. it's probably surprised like other people outside of here, but like internally, like we know what that's DeDe like. So everything that they did, we were just happy, excited for him because we know like he worked for it, that's what he do. So and when he did it.
How much do you guys bounce off each other's energy when someone's playing like that? Do you feed off that like crazy?
Yeah, we definitely feel it. Especially like I'll talk like personally for the safety rooms, like if dudes make a play, boom, okay, dudes make a play, then DeDe make a play, then I'll make a play. Like we all like the energy. Like when us make a play, you will see all three go each other. Like we're all close like that. So.
Well, you've been making some plays. The 2 picks against Florida A&M, and hearing your new defensive coordinator talk about you, Todd Orlando, he saw what your skill set was, but it hasn't always been obvious, as you know, and people that don't know it. Started off as a wide receiver, kind of bounced back and forth. How settled do you feel, finally, and how important was it to get that vote of confidence and that direction from your coaching staff here?
I feel like I really settled in now for sure. But how it just feels good, like just to be able to be on the field, like, you know, every day you come out to practice and now I get a chance to show like what I always did, like what I'm working for now. So everything's just so like, it's calming, like, okay, now let's play football, basically.
You've had quite the journey, you know, with finding yourself in that position, finding yourself, you know, in that position on the team even, becoming that leader figure. How does that feel to you?
Becoming a leader is like big, cause like I never thought I would be a leader on the team like this. Like I always thought like I would just be in the background. So like now becoming a leader, like trying to talk more and like understand the culture we need, like, it feels good like to be like, okay, I understand the culture, like so I can push against like the young guys, like to move them along with us that don't understand the culture.
Well, it's not just your performance on the field. You can tell you're a nice young man, and even Coach Orlando said last week, you know, I've let him watch my kid, no big deal. I don't know if you have a babysitting service set up or anything. Not yet? Good. Now, the team itself, looking forward to this week. You want to build on it, right? Can you, and this is something that Coach Golesh alluded to in the postgame, continue that effort, be that dominant? Is that kind of the message now?
Yeah, for sure. Like, even as a team, we talk to each other like, okay, don't let this be like, oh, we played Bama good, like, so we're good. We're going to just win the rest of our games. Like, we understand, like, to order to win the rest of our games, we got to come out the same energy we played with them and still find another way, another step to what we did so we can close it out. So, like, even this week, we're still working on finishing, putting our foot on the gas, like, so it's no doubt in the fourth quarter what we're going to do.
Well, it looks like you've been putting out a lot of effort based on, I don't know if people can see his knees, but the right knee is all skinned up, looks like a fresh injury. You've also got something going on in your left forearm here. Did that just happen during a particular game? Explain those bumps and bruises.
They all happened the West Kentucky game, so I would, you know, it had turf on their field. It wasn't really good turf, so I started then. Man, every game since then they've been reopening, but the arm healing better now. Just the knee, because it's the knee part, so like that's all it is.
How long do they usually take to heal?
I say they'll heal probably a week or so. So like, but since it's my knee, so I can't cover my knee up for real, so it gonna keep opening.
What you're saying is it's good to have the grass surface at Raymond James Stadium.
Yeah, for sure.
It's probably the best.
Yeah.
Now, on your right arm, and we want to talk a little bit about the story that Joey Johnston wrote last week. And I thought I knew you. I didn't know your whole story. I know you're a wonderful young man, and people rave about you. I didn't realize all the stuff that you had to overcome. So tell people, Braxton is represented on your right arm, about your brother.
So right here, I have my brother's name right here, who got hit by a car. I was in, it was the summer of my 8th grade, going into my 8th grade year. He went to a party. I was asleep. So I would get wake up in the middle of the night, like, uncle come to the house and like takes me outside. He's like, brother just got hit by a car, he's dead. But me still being asleep, like, I'm not understanding what he's saying. So then it's like, my uncle like, he's like, I'm serious, like. So it clicked, I'm like, okay. So then I go in the house, me still being like a kid, like not really understanding for real. I go lay back down, go to sleep. So then my great aunt come, and then she takes me in the room with my mom. My mom in the house in her room. She really don't know for real. So she takes me in the room with her, and she's telling me. So like, I never really was a crier, so I never really cried for real. But like that day, like at night, like I kind of like, after my nana left and everything, I went in my room and laid down and like just thought about everything, started crying. Like that's probably the most I ever cried, was that in the funeral. So yeah, but.
Well, to hear, and as your great aunt, is it Cheryl or Sherelle?
Cheryl.
Cheryl. She said that you immediately wanted to be this strong person and tried not to cry, as you say. How has that really been? It's not a great experience, obviously, but it seems like it's really stayed with you. It shaped you into a man, and I'm inspired by it, by the way. And how much do you think about your brother? It sounds like every day.
Yeah, so every day I wake up, like, even in my room, got a little poster of, like, him and, like, a football picture of him on my room. So, like, every day I see it, like, I think about him every day. So, like, I pray every morning and just ask God to, like, continue to push me to be to the person I want to be. So, like, every time I see his pictures, like, he's in my mind. It's okay, what I'm here for, that's a why. That's one of my reasons I'm here, so that's why I always think about him.
Awesome.
You had such a support system. Your great aunt. Talk about her and how special she is to you.
So, honestly, I feel like the way she raised me, every time I got in trouble, I got it, you feel me? So, really, like, her discipline really pushed me to be the person I am. Like, I feel like without her, who knows where I would be for real. So, like, she took me in when I probably didn't have anywhere to go for real. So when everything went left, so really everything just felt good to have her as a support system.
Well, I got to ask one final question, and it does relate to her. What name does she call you? Logan or Caquavius?
She calls me Logan too.
Okay, all right, because his real name is Caquavius, and I've been trying to be the one person that sticks with it, as you know.
Yeah.
But if she calls you Logan, then
Yeah, she calls me Logan too.
I guess it's okay to be called Logan. Logan Berryhill, thank you so much for joining
you.
us. Excellent. Coming up next, Sam Barrington catches up to former Bull DeDe Lattimore on BullsEYE.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to BullsEYE. This is our special segment where we spend some time with a former Bull. And today we have one of the USF greats on defense, DeDe Lattimore. DeDe, what's going on?
What's going on, Sam? How you been?
Man, I've been great, man. And obviously, because I'm back around the program these days, people will talk to me all the time about my days at USF, and I'll tell them, hey, I was not the best linebacker on that defensive unit. The guy who carried us and the guy who made so many plays for us back then was number 34, DeDe Lattimore. How's things been since you left USF in 2013?
Oh, man, I had its ups and downs, but it's been perfect so far. Right now, I'm back at home coaching high school varsity football at Cedar Shoals High School, and I love it. This is my third year coaching. I love it. Love giving back. Love the crowd. Speaking of old days, I just watched this game, Alabama game, and it was electrifying. Like, it got me ready to get back out there and play, man. And no lie.
Yeah. So let me ask you, how do you feel like your time at USF prepared you to come back and provide so much leadership and guidance to these young men on a high school level?
Definitely. Being prepared at USF taught me how to prepare both physically and mentally. Definitely the mentally part, getting up 5 o'clock in the morning, just not wanting to do things, got to go to class checks and the et cetera stuff that come with college football.
Yeah. Now, would you say, I mean, looking back on it, you and I came out of high school the same year in 2009. It's 2023. How much about the game has changed from 14 years? And I know both you and I are still young men, but how much about the game has changed since then?
The game definitely changed from when we was playing. It was definitely more, I hate to say it was definitely more physical.
Yeah.
It was definitely more physical. Quarterbacks, can't be touched right now in the game that we're playing right now. The hitting was different. Back then, you had to keep your head on the swivel, basically. You never know when you was going to get hit or blindside.
Yeah. Now, you talked about how electrifying this Alabama game was, but when you think back to your playing days, what were some of the games that you would consider electrifying, that you had the opportunity to participate in?
One of the biggest games I probably had the opportunity to participate in was the Notre Dame game.
Yeah,
probably the Notre Dame game. Just electrifying the crowd, just going up there, being able to play up there, and the atmosphere, having Skip Holtz as the coach, and Luke being championship up there. So this was a great win for us.
Yeah. You had some big plays that game, right? And I just remember, man, because I played as a true freshman, but I just saw you developing so much, and I was like, man, this guy is special. You had the speed, you had the physicality. Do your students really believe that Coach Lattimore or Mr. Lattimore, the guy who's teaching us today, went and did all these things on the college level and had the opportunity to play in the NFL?
They have no clue. The kids have no clue who I am, really. The football kids, they do, but most of the kids, they do not have no clue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond anything, man, if there's something special that you want to say to Bulls fans, there's so many special things going on around USF. Coming from the words of an alum, what's something that you'd like to communicate to Bulls fans about how you feel about the program and what you think their support should look like?
I definitely love where we're going. I love the physicality that Coach is bringing back, and I think we got a great team this year. Definitely do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, man, I appreciate your time. Hopefully we get to see you guys down here. Hopefully you can bring some of your kids down here. I'm proud of you. And I definitely look forward to spending some more time talking to you. But again, one of the greats, DeDe Lattimore. And hey, we played on some great defenses.
Definitely.
It wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you. One more question. What do you think about Coach Kevin Patrick being back with the team?
Oh, man, when I read that, I was just so excited, man. Just knowing, like I said, what he's bringing. I know what you're going to get from him. You're going to get a coach that all for the kids, discipline, and physical.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, you're telling the truth, man, because this defensive line that he's coaching is arguably – now, listen, I know they're only 3 games in, but these guys are playing lights out. It reminds me of the times we played under Coach Snyder,
Definitely.
Coach Kosh, with guys like Juju Forte, Ryan Giddens, Tevin Mims, so many of those
I
guys,
definitely agree
man.
with you. That's what I got. A lot of guys flying to the ball, having fun.
Yeah. Well, that's special, man. It's great to hear from you. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. This is DeDe Lattimore signing out.
Back here on BullsEYE with volleyball sophomore standout Buse Hazan. So great to see you, not just here, but just in general. We'll get into the whole journey this year. For people who don't know, barely played last season due to injuries, and now not only is she playing, she's doing great. So first of all, you look great on the court. How do you feel? Are you fully healthy?
I feel awesome, incredible, being back with my teammates, being stronger in the team, like playing good, connected with my teammates. It feels awesome.
Now, you knew no matter what happened this year, it was going to be an improvement over just the whole experience. We'll get into the whole coming from where you came from. She's from Istanbul, Turkey, and her English is great, and her personality is great. But before we get into all that, tell people what your injuries were last year and kind of how difficult it was, not just from the physical standpoint, but from everything, your first year in college.
Basically, I had my flight to the US from Turkey, and I had to run to my bedroom, and I hit my pinky toe to the edge of the bed.
Wow.
And it was fractured. So it took like 2 months to get clear. I couldn't play, and when I got clear, I got ab strain, so it took 2 weeks. Then I was back, I started playing, but I could play just like 6 games, and that was it. And I barely could play, so it wasn't my real play.
Exactly, you never felt like it was you're fully healthy. Now, we've all done that. We've all banged our toe. I do it probably once a week. But did you know at the time that this was worse than the normal?
Yes, I knew it because I felt the crack. I heard it. Yeah, I was like, okay, it's broken.
And I got to say it, and it's not the most sporty type of injury that you could have. Did it take some time to explain to people what actually happened, or did you have to come right out with it?
I actually couldn't tell my agent back in Turkey who helped me to come here. I was kind of scared.
You won't believe this.
Yeah, but I talked to our head coach and our assistant coach because I had to,
So let's start off with Istanbul. First of all, I had to double check when I looked it up. I knew it was a big city and it was a big country. But folks, it's one of the largest countries in the world. There are 15 million people. So I know Tampa's a big city, but this is small to you. I mean, what was that like?
Like basically Istanbul is like, everyone thinks it's the capital, but the capital is Ankara.
Okay.
Basically Istanbul is like New York here. It's a very big city and it's so crowded. Like you can't walk around people like normally, you know. You have to go like, I'm sorry.
Much like New York.
Yeah.
Was volleyball one of the bigger sports, or was it sound like there was every sport going on there?
Basically lately, after the European Championships, World Championships, Olympics, it's been like very big, like fantastic sport for us. And our fans, like, they're awesome. They make a lot of crowd in like the big arenas in Turkey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you played in some big arenas here right from the start, but you were kind of used to it. That's good. Got to ask you, like I just said, I didn't know much about Turkey at all, or Istanbul. You probably didn't know much about Tampa or South Florida. So how did you find out? What was the connection there?
I kind of did research, like, how is it? Because I want to be somewhere like which is hot, and but I didn't expect like the humidity here.
Oh,
it's so bad. But I get used to it.
Did you have to ask around? Did you say, is this how it normally is? I gotta get that first experience from here.
Yeah, when I came here first, I was like what? In like 5 minutes, and the buildings are so cold. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sick for sure. Like, how does that work?
You know what? It never works. I'm several years older than you, and you just don't get used to it. You just try and live through it. Now, injuries aside, this year, you come right on the scene, and she didn't just return. It was a kind of a given that you were going to get your career high really soon, and you did in the first match. But folks, she didn't just smash that in her second match. She did it against the Florida Gators with 20 kills. How did that feel? I know it's a basic question, but that must have been incredible for you.
I didn't know I got 20 kills that game, but I was feeling like I'm good. I can kill any ball right now. I want to win this game, like, but we couldn't make it, but I think we could like show like things that we can achieve.
Well, that's a team,
Yeah.
and maybe you didn't know it fully. Obviously, you didn't grow up in the United States, but that's a team that's so very good. Explain that environment, because you could see their fans there. Did it feel like as special of an event as it seemed like? Because I called it on the radio, and it just felt like a very special event.
Yeah.
How did you react to it just from a personal level? Were there any nerves or anything like that?
No, I wasn't actually, but it was like, you felt awesome. Like, it was like not like something like you can have like all the time,
Right.
being around like that crowd, but it might be like hard for some people to feel like comfortable, relaxed, chill, that you can show your own play, but it was kind of like normal for me. Like,
You are relaxed and chill, I can say that. But on the court, you get fired up.
Yeah.
But you're not the only one on the team. Speak about what it's like there on the court, the energy. Amanda's always seeming to go. Tizzy, she will look you down, and she's very fired up. Maria and Marta, you've got quite a team. How do you like working with them?
first of all, I love screaming. Some people hate it sometimes, but like it makes me like fired up, hyped up, like, and I like giving motivation.
Okay.
Tiz is kind of like that too. Amanda, like how she screams, how she calms you, like when she gets a block or something.
You like doing motivation. I like that phrase. Now, were you sort of not nervous to do it, but not sure at first? When did you become comfortable from that part of it? We talked about the physical part. What about the leadership part?
It was like kind of hard at first last year because like I wasn't like playing, so it wasn't like easy to like get connections with the teammates and stuff.
Makes sense.
But then I could able to like play in the spring games, and we got closer and closer. So I was able to like being comfortable around them and like showing how I play normally and how I being like around them normally.
Good.
So yeah.
I like seeing it now. And one of the things that everybody does, and maybe we can work on a different phrase, not right here, but in general, it's "let's go," you know, that kind of thing. Is there something like that in Turkey that you can say, and how would that go? For fans back at home.
We say hadi.
Well, you got to say it louder
like,
than that.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hadi?
Hadi.
Okay, I like it. Speaking of back home, we just sort of glossed over the fact that you came to the States. No one else in your family has come abroad.
Yeah.
This was your first time coming abroad, even leaving Turkey. Tell people, your family, you have twin sisters, what it was kind of like leaving them, and do they still keep in touch? Obviously they do.
Yeah, of course we do, like most of the days, like we do FaceTime a lot.
That's nice.
My parents miss me so much. But they have my sisters back there, so.
Tell people about your sisters.
We have just a year age of difference. They also played volleyball, they used to. And one of my sisters started doing rowing, but she quit because of her knees.
Okay.
And
twins, right?
Yeah,
What are
they're
their names?
fraternal twins, Beliz and Beren.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So is there a chance that you get to go back home, or I know you haven't been back? When might that happen down the road?
Next May.
Very
probably,
nice.
Yeah.
As we start to wrap it up here with BullsEYE, you guys had that last weekend, and 2 weeks prior, as you know what happened, they were leading at South Dakota, had 4 match points, and lost. Now this time, South Carolina upstate, 13-10, you were down, rallied to win the 5th set. Not only did the team come back, but you came back. You know, you had a rough first set, and then you finished strong. So how important was that? And when you have a comeback victory like you guys did, does that really lift your confidence, because you kept on winning after that?
Yeah, last week was hard, like being like in the front and like losing the game. But this week we achieved, so we had a comeback. We had lots of comebacks actually this week, so
I noticed.
It felt awesome to get the comeback and win the game.
And you watched some of it from the bench for the first time this year, but speak to that side of things, because it seems like the bench is always active and enthusiastic. You guys have a good vibe about you, right? What was it like being a part of it?
It was good. Like, I didn't know some couple of the like cheering and stuff. I was like, what is this? What is this, like O-U-T, ow, and things like it's so fun. Sometimes like we don't just hear like most of the things on the court.
Right.
But I was like so proud of them, like to cheer up like with us.
Well, I love the enthusiasm. Last thing, as we get into the conference volleyball schedule, it's also almost time for hockey season. You have become a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. What's it like going to those games?
It's so good. Like, I didn't know anything about hockey at first. Then I met with a Turkish family here. Then we went to the Lightning game. They invited me. Then, like, it was awesome. Like, seeing Kucherov there. Yeah.
Is he your favorite player?
Yes.
Okay, I know some people at the Lightning. If you're watching, I know you are. Nikita Kucherov, big fan over here. See what you can do. Hey, BullsEYE, it was a pleasure. Love watching you on the court, getting to know you here a little bit. Keep up the good work this season.
Thank you.
We'll continue with more BullsEYE next. As we're wrapping it up on BullsEYE, great interviews today. I want to go back to what Coach Golesh said about the defense rallying around the quarterback. How cool was that, and have you ever experienced anything like it?
Yeah, I mean, that's extremely important. In my stint at USF, I had guys on defensive side. If I made a mistake, whether I fumble or interception, Kayvon Webster, Sam Barrington, those guys would rally behind me, JPP, and say, hey, come on, we're good, we got your back, and even in Seattle, we talk about the Legion of Boom all the time with Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor. If Russell went out and made a mistake, that entire team rallied behind that mistake and said, hey, you know what, we got your back. That instills confidence in the quarterback to go back out there the next opportunity and throw the football and not baby it, to deliver it, to run the offense and just know that, okay, yeah, I made a mistake. The whole stadium saw it. Right. The whole team saw it. But the support is my family, my brothers that I work out with every day, that I eat with. So that tight-knit community of a football team that supports each other will help each other move forward further and further throughout the season when anything hits the fan, because there'll be times when the defense will give up something.
Sure.
And the quarterback can say, hey, look, I got you.
Well, since you bring up Seattle, that was an excellent anecdote. I hear you might be meeting some of your old friends this weekend, and you have an excused absence from Raymond James Stadium.
I do, just for this weekend. But I have an opportunity to be a part of the 10-year anniversary of the Super Bowl, where we beat the Seattle Seahawks, beat the Denver Broncos. So I'm going back to Seattle, spend a weekend there with all the alumni. I get to hang out with Pete Carroll again and Marshawn Lynch and Earl Thomas and all those people. So, I'm excited and looking forward to it.
Well, we're going to get a recap on the show. You better believe that.
Yeah, I'll take lots of pictures.
Take a photo or two if you can. Now, Rice is the opponent this week. It's somebody that the Bulls have not played in their history. Now that they're, conference foes, it's going to happen more often. And people may not know I'm from Plant City, and if you assume that Plant City is named for plants, first of all, think about it. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, the city was there. It's not like plants are there. People have to grow plants. No, it's HB Plant. It's the railroad guys. Same that Plant High School is named. Does anybody think that Rice is named for the grain? No, hopefully that's not you guys. It is actually named for, would you like to take a gander? No, it's okay.
I don't know.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
William Marsh Rice, who basically gave up his entire fortune to fund this school. So you get it named after you.
Wow.
Interesting.
So, and it's always been, it actually was an AAU school at 1985, and of course that just shows you how prestigious the institution is. But as far as the actual school itself, well, before we get to the school itself, favorite rice dish, do you have one? Or maybe rice-based dish, type of rice?
I like fried rice.
Yeah,
and I like Asian cuisine, so any orange chicken with rice on the side, I'm down for.
She went high end. I was going to say Chipotle. I mean, they got that rice
like
and
that
beans.
I can throw down on Chipotle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm with you there, too.
Yeah, low end, medium end, high end, I'll take it all. I'm a big risotto guy. No, the school itself is beautiful, and they got a quarterback that is not too much younger than you.
We might be the same age.
BJ
I mean, we both got the last name Daniels.
Well, let me ask you as we wrap it up. I mean, it's a non-football player asking a football player, professional football player, this question because media like to paint certain situations. Is the team going to have a letdown? To me, if you have a letdown in a football game, you're in trouble. You're going to get beat up.
Right.
But is it natural mentally sometimes for that to happen? How do you try and prevent it from happening?
Yeah, it can be. But I think it all goes into your preparation throughout the week. How serious you approach the game for Saturday. I think a lot of people just think about Saturday as the day that everyone suits up and plays and gets everything going. It's Monday through Friday. Right. Making sure that everything is right and you're confident in the plays that you're practicing and the things that will be called and situations that may pop up. So, I think a telltale is always what Monday through Friday looks like. So you'll know before Saturday comes.
Interesting. Well, it'll be Saturday at 4 o'clock. And for the radio side, by the way, which I head up, we'll be on the air at 2 o'clock on Bulls Unlimited. We'll be back here to talk with everybody about it next week on BullsEYE. Thank you for tuning in. For Kaylee Cottrell and BJ Daniels, I'm Derek Sharp. Horns up.